is Pooja Kamath Sabnis, and I welcome you all on behalf of the ISC network. Today, we have a very special guest with us who is very dynamic, a very passionate person, and she's a member of parliament in the House of Commons in Canada for Calgary Skyview. She has been actively involved in a lot of community work, especially to bridge the gap between the older and the younger generation. She's also very encouraging of women who want to enter politics. So I guess you must have guessed by now who this person is. If not, her name is Jag Sahota, who's fondly called as Jag Sahota, Jagdeep Sahota. So hi, Jagdeep, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We're so excited to be talking to you today.
Likewise, I'm always excited to be here.
Great. So we're just going to, because it's International Women's Day, we wanted to speak with, women who've done a lot in their professional lives and who can make a difference by, giving strong messages. So which is why we thought of inviting you, and we're so happy that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be with your audiences as well. It's a very important day, International Women's Day.
Yes.
And I'm really excited about the conversation we're going to have around that today.
For sure. So I think I'd like to get started by, by asking you that, how, you have pursued to be where you are and you followed your passion to be where you are. What message or, a word of advice that you'd like to give women who want to pursue leadership roles or who already are in one?
It's a tough journey, but it's a journey that's your own. And you need to own it, good or bad, strong or weak. That's your own weaknesses or strengths.
Right.
Highlight them, embrace them, and just stick with your goals, whatever that may be. It may not come true immediately, but that's not a reason to give up. It didn't come true immediately for me. It took me 7 years before I won. And so I didn't give up. And that's one thing that I think, if you have a dream and you have that passion, make it come true. It might not be immediately, but it will come true if you stay at it. And that's
Right.
one piece of advice that it's coming from personal experience.
Right. So persistence is the key, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I personally have always equated women with power. And I think they are two synonymous words. What is your take on it?
They're powerful in every way. We've seen our mothers take on the role of a wife, a mother, a professional, and handle it so well. So I'm inspired by women who are able to do everything. And every woman is capable of that and is taking on multiple roles per day, per hour, even on.
Absolutely.
It's the most interesting thing is that we want to look at role models, those women who have accomplished something outside. But if we look at our own homes, our mothers, grandmothers, they are role models in many ways.
Right.
And they show us what can be done and, what needs to be done. And they inspire us, but they also encourage us.
Right. And that's so important, right? To, have these kind of women in our lives to,
yes.
Who don't need to do huge, larger than life things, but small things matter, little things matter, and little things go a long way.
Exactly.
And it's amazing. You said, your mother and your grandmother have, you've been inspired, from them. And I think I would say the same about myself as well. My mother has been a great source of inspiration for me in almost every walk of life. So beyond your, mother, are there any other women that you would say who've inspired you or shaped your way of thinking professionally and personally, maybe in your formative years or now, in your journey of your professional life?
Every woman I have met have left a mark on my heart and on my life, basically. I lost my mother actually 20 years ago. So I see a lot of mothers in every woman. Like every woman I meet, to me, that's a mother to me, right? And I always make them my mother. I'm like, you're my mom. I call them Mother Mary. I have like names for everybody. And women in general, every woman that I've come in contact with, they have so much to teach you. Each
Right.
person, each woman has their own journey, which is special in a way, and that's inspiring. So I don't necessarily look for political role models who are women, or I was also a lawyer before, so I don't look for
Right.
necessarily those kind of role models. I look for everyday women and the challenges they face,
Sure.
and how they handle it.
Right. We'll
To me,
actually,
that's the
sorry, go on.
most to me, that's the most beautiful thing, is journeys are so different, and
Hmm.
yet the goal is at the end of the day the same for
Right.
most women, is to do well in life, to make sure their kids are doing well, they achieve what they want to achieve, their family life is stable. These are basic goals. The journeys
Sure.
may be different.
Right. Right. And in fact, that was going to be my next question around, challenges that women face. And since you've been a working professional and you've met so many people, you said, you've been in this field for about 7 years. So those many women and those many people and those many women across ethnicities and cultures. So what would you say are some of the common challenges that you've seen women face? And what do you think, are the ways in which they can counter those?
I think the biggest challenge that every generation of women have been facing is balancing work life and home life. And
Right.
that hasn't changed much. If anything, with COVID, what we have seen with women, they took on the role of caregivers, whether
Sure.
that was
Yeah.
like, taking care of their elder parents, or homeschooling their kids. They became teachers, they became nurses, they became doctors. It's amazing to watch women take on so role with a smile on their face, right?
Right.
To me, that continues to be a challenge that women face, but there's a lot of men are coming to support them, whether that's their husband, that's their father or brother. so
Right.
so in that sense, where it's becoming, as the awareness is growing, as women are highlighting the challenges they're facing and asking for help, and people are stepping up in their families or outside. And I
Right.
see that with even professional women, when they need to take a day off or time off to go home and take care of their child. Male bosses will say, okay, I understand, because I have a child myself. I
Right.
understand. I would do the same. So just being able to put yourself in those shoes, and I think men are stepping up now, and that's one thing we continue to work on, is just
Right.
helping them realize, look, this is a challenge and we need your support. It's a teamwork.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think you sort of summarized that really well by saying that it's teamwork. It doesn't the responsibility is not really either the man's or the woman's. And it's really nice how men today are so comfortable being a part of the women's life and don't really look at it as a gender bias kind of a responsibility. So I think we're moving in the right direction. And but like you still said, that we still are facing those challenges, and it's been there across generations. And maybe work-life balance is something that will be there. It's a persistent challenge that will be there for times to
Well,
come as well.
we're working on making it more of a balanced life,
Sure.
right? With the support. And you cannot have a conversation about equality without men being involved in it. It's
Correct.
very important, but it's also important. I was watching something a couple of days ago. It was a video somebody had sent me. You cannot just say that women need to do this. You need to also teach. You can't just be teaching your daughters, do this or that. You need
Right.
to teach your sons as well.
Absolutely.
If they're able to accept a strong mother figure in their life, then they should be able to accept a strong girlfriend, a strong wife. That's where the change is going to come. And it's going to come with the generations in the future. But we need to start walking on that path and leading the path and clearing the path for the women generations to come in the
Right.
future. And the way to do it is to have these kind of conversations that we are having right now, and
Right.
but also teaching our boys to be respectful, to grant rights that they demand for themselves, whether that's equality or whether that's like if they need support, they want their wife to step in. Same goes for the other way around. And these are the things that I think the newer generations and the future generations will be able to accomplish much easier because we're starting the conversation now. And that's the important that's more important than anything else at this point.
Absolutely. And in fact, on that, I'd read this really interesting paper that had said how women from the past few generations, who were always looking inward, started looking outward. And that's why from the past 20 years, 20, 25 years, they've started making that leap and have become so independent. Men, on the other hand, or the boy child, on the other hand, would look outward because, it was all about ambition and profession, but weren't really encouraged to look inward. And that's why women have grown to the levels that they did. But interestingly, now, because women themselves are getting more aware about it, they are teaching and educating their boys, and how it's slowly tending towards that. So it just seems like we're living in good times. The changes here. Yeah.
And that's our role of this generation is, like I said, to pave that path.
Right.
The future generations, clear that path so the girls, the hurdles that we faced, the future girls don't have to face.
Absolutely.
That's our role, and that's what I'm working towards. I'm also a shadow minister for women and gender equality. So that's something that is very close to my heart, to pave the path and leave this society much more equal.
Sure, right? Absolutely. And that's so important. And in fact, because we're on that topic, I really want to know your views on how do you think, women should be enabling other women, and how important is that?
Very important to highlight each other. To me, that is the base of growth for women. Sure. We cannot be pulling each other down. Right. Not at all. That's not something we should be doing. If somebody's doing something, highlight that. Say good things. Give them encouragement. Be their support.
Right.
That's what we need to do for each other today. But we're not only doing it for ourselves. Like I said, we're doing it for future generations. We're trying to be role models for our girls who are going to come in the future, because they should be able to look at their mother and say, my mother was doing this for other women. My sister or my niece was doing, my aunt was doing this for other women. It's about you're leaving a mark on the society, whichever path you choose. If you decide to pull other women down, that's also leaving a mark, but not so much positive. Correct. Then might as well do something positive, right? And highlight, emphasize, give importance to people, women as well, right? And it's important to even, there's, even if somebody is doing something you don't necessarily agree with, but you see the bigger cause, go and support them. Right. And don't pull anybody else down. It takes us back decades. That's what it does. We don't want to act on stereotypes. Right. We want to change the perspective. We want to change the conversations to something positive. Absolutely. About other women. And it's a selfish way of thinking that I want to leave a better society for my daughter or my niece or my grandchild, right? That's how we need to think.
Right. Yeah, well, absolutely. I think empowering other women, not pulling them down, being there for their cause is not just about one family, like you said, or about just one person. It's a example that you're trying to create for the society in general, and the generations to come will see it. Yes. So very, very nicely put. I think that's so important, and especially when women at powerful positions such as you try to advocate this, it sort of can reach the masses, and it can percolate better, and it can sort of be integrated in everyday lives as well. So,
but I can only do so much. It's like the women at home.
Yeah.
Who are listening, they will be taking the steps. My words can only go so far, but Correct. It's the actions that will change, right?
Absolutely.
That will change our society. And that's where all the women come in. It's like small little steps. I say it every time to even men. I say, just if your daughter wants to do something, stand behind her, because that's how I got here. Right. My father stood with me all the way. Like I lost 2 elections before I became successful. People can leave you, but your family doesn't.
Right.
that's the secret to success, is your family backing, your family support, unconditional support. Even when you become successful, support doesn't end there. In fact, I need more support now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So that support is very important. I didn't have, like I said, I lost my mother 20 years ago. So I lost that mother figure. But my grandma, the strength she has, even she's 85 years old, she'll tell me things like, she'll encourage me. Some days I'm like, Grandma, I'm tired. I can't wear the heels. Like, she's like, this is the age. When are you going to wear it? At 85? You know what I mean?
Right.
Small little things, or
Right.
just the strength women have
Right.
to pull everything together, to keep families together. This is an amazing thing, and women are aware of their accomplishments, their strengths.
Correct.
But we just need to maybe remind them, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah,
And also, we're talking about a grandmother here who belongs to a completely different generation,
completely.
and yet can be so supportive and so empowering of the grandchild that is from Canada, a different culture altogether. And small little pieces of encouragement can obviously take you places, because you have that backing. So it's so important to support your children, support your girl children, support the women that your colleagues, your friends, your partners, and that little thing can go a long way, just for yourself and the society as well. So yeah, I think really nicely put, and thank you so much for that thought. So important, I feel.
Yes, I agree. Like I said, the strength that I get from my grandma, if I'm down, I go to her, because I know she's seen life, right?
Right.
I haven't seen everything yet, right? But that encouragement coming from an 85-year-old who can, even at this age, say, go do it. I'm with
Right.
you. That is what we need to do for other women.
Yeah.
That's what we need to say to women. Go do it. I'm with you. I stand with you. I will come and door knock with you, for example, if it's politics, or if you need help taking care of your child because I live next door to you, but you need to go work. I'm there for you. Small little things make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
And it relieves stress. It's in this pandemic age right now, what we need to do for women is, because they're taking on so many roles, what we need to do is just reach out, phone them, give them a call, have a Zoom meeting, and be there for somebody. Just take on one person, one woman in your life, to say, I'm going to check in on her every week, just like 5-minute chat. That'll go a long way.
Absolutely. We said this like twice or thrice, but I think it's so important. Small little things go a long way. Small little things go a long way in not just reducing stress, but improving and bettering somebody's self-esteem, giving them that confidence, giving them that, the wings to make a leap and, be that person, whether you're a man or a woman.
Yes.
So that was a great thought. And finally, I think, you've spoken so much about your family and your upbringing. So I'd like to know, what is it that you wanted to be? What was your dream when you were a little girl? What is it that you wanted to be then?
Two dreams I had. I told my dad when I was 6 years old, I want to be a lawyer and a politician. And he did not let me change my mind on it.
That's pretty amazing. And you did both.
I'm a very goal-oriented person, to be honest. Like, if I was giving example to somebody the other day, I said, if you told me I need to drink water, unless you tell me I need to drink 1 or 2 liters, I can't do it at all. Like, either it's achieving my goal or not doing anything at all, right? So I've been a very goal-oriented person. That's a strength of mine, but at the same time, a weakness. If I don't have a goal, I'm not doing anything. And I've never had no goals in my life, so it's kind of interesting in that sense. But this is what I wanted to do, and I've accomplished it. I've been lucky enough, but like I said, it didn't come easy. There's a lot of sacrifice you make. Even now, yesterday I traveled to Ottawa. And so I'm here today doing the interviews. Yesterday I was doing a Zoom meeting from my car while I was driven from Toronto to Ottawa, because there was no flight that was working with that meeting that we had to have. So, but it's about sacrifices. It's not always easy, but it's also it's the challenges continue on, but it's about handling those with a smile on your
With a
face,
smile.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's fighting some kind of battle. That's the
Right.
truth of it.
Right.
My battle may be different than yours, but you're fighting something as well. So I have no real right to just bring you down by not being happy, not being cooperative, right? So that's how kind of I see my life to be, is I
Right.
have a role to play and I'm going to play it the best I can. I wanted it so bad for 7 years. And finally God has given me that opportunity, and I'm gonna
Make the
take
most
it
of
with
it.
this. Yes, I'm gonna have that smile on my face while I'm doing it.
That's great. So, what message would you like to give little girls that are, watching your show currently and watching you?
Well, the message that I have is, if you do have goals, um, first of all, if you don't have goals, talk to somebody. Every person is inspiring, gives you some kind of inspiration. What you should do is reach out to those who are doing something that you like. It doesn't have to be politics. It doesn't have to be politics, but you need to be aware of the society you live in. So
Right.
whether that's volunteering, get more connected, build networks, build relationships, because relationships are uh, they'll get you from one place to another. That's what I did for 7 years when I lost. I continue to build on those relationships, and
Sure.
you cherish them, you nourish them, and you continue to work on those relationships, because that's the base of your strength and your accomplishments, whether
Sure.
that's relationship within your family or in the community. And don't ever give up. Like I said, third try for me is when I won, but I worked hard for it. I didn't give up after first shot. And I don't want young girls to be discouraged by their failures, the first or second failure. It takes time, but if you stay at it, you will win. I'm 100% sure. I'm an example of that. When you keep trying, you will start to also understand what you're wanting to achieve. Sometimes we have very superficial goals, like I want to be this or that because I saw somebody do it. But then once you internalize it, it becomes your own. It comes from
Hmm.
your own heart, and the work that you do to achieve that, when it's coming from your heart, will reflect that it's a deep down, like it's a passion that you have. It's something people will start supporting you. That's what happened with me in 2019. People had seen me work hard for 7 years. A lot of my constituents said, she's been trying for so long, we're going to support her. It starts to show within the
Right.
community as well. So get involved in your community. You don't have to be a politician, but if you know somebody who's doing what you like, or just even try it, shadow somebody. I give a lot of opportunities to a lot of women in my writing, and anybody else, any young adult who wants to do what I'm doing. I'm not insecure about that. I want to give opportunities that I didn't have
Right.
necessarily. And I want to tell all the viewers, if your daughter, your sister, niece, anybody in your family, or your son or brother, anybody wants to do what we're doing, reach out to us. I'd be more than happy to help them out. It's about encouraging the younger generation to have hope, to have dreams, and that they come true. That's what our role should be as well.
Yeah, that was really beautifully put. And lots of things in one piece of message that you gave, right from thinking about your goals, internalizing those goals, introspecting about it, building great relationships, pursuing them, being resilient, and just being focused and getting at it. All of that is not just restricted to women, but more so because we're celebrating Women's Day today. This message is for women. Is there anything else, any other parting thoughts that you have for our audience, men and
Don't ever
women from across the globe that are watching you today?
don't ever burn bridges.
Hmm.
That's one thing I have learned. You may not agree with the other person's opinion, but do not burn any bridges. A relationship might not flourish right now with
Right.
another person. People's perspectives change.
Hmm.
That's one thing, you need to go into every conversation with an open mind.
Sure.
because then you'll pick up, you'll learn from it, and you will achieve what you need to achieve. And if you're applying for a job that somebody, your potential boss, says no the first time, doesn't mean you go and bash that boss. You don't do that. You don't do that.
Right.
You reflect on it and see how you can improve yourself, and then try that again. Like, I've seen people change their perspective, their minds about things, even in politics. At a different age group, they are like aligning with different party, and then
Right.
you approach them 5 years later, they're completely on board with you. So it's the relationship. If you have those relationships, continue to cherish them, nourish them, and work on them. That's
Right.
what success in life. At the end of the day, what are we going to take from here, from this life? It's those relationships, right? People
Absolutely.
that I should be able to know that somebody has my back because I didn't do anything bad to them, and they
Right.
won't do anything bad to me. That to me is life.
Sure.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Very well said. And, thank you for all the real-time practical insights that you've given us, and nothing that was too philosophical. So thank you once again for being here, for partaking in this, in this chat. And I'm sure we have all, loved the way you've spoken, and everything has been so interesting, and that passion comes across. So on that note, thanks once again for being on the show, and to all the women and men out there, wish you all a very happy International Women's Day from ISC Network and from Jag Sahota, who's present here with us. We wish that you celebrate yourself, not just today, but every single day of your lives, because like we discussed today, that you as a woman are capable to so much. A lot of times you probably don't even know about that. So look into that, celebrate yourself, and lots of love and power to you. Thank you so much, and
Happy
wish you
International
good luck,
Women's Day.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.